of a rainy day. Nothing too crazy, nothing too concerning, but very annoying. I fucking hate the rain. It just sucks, all in all. So, but yeah, this is the new car. Let's we'll move it in to get some work done to it. Fucking seat's not bolted in. It's a little bit loud in here because it's basically straight pipe, but 1JZ VVTi. I think off of a JZX100. I'm not sure. It runs good. A little cold. Should have been doing that, but I want to do some engine bay tubs on this. I want to make the engine bay look really pretty. So we're gonna move it into the garage and start doing some minor work to it. Maybe cut out whatever we need to cut out. Start with the tubs, main part, and we'll see if we can finish it up or go from there. But for now, main concern is to get this up and going and make it look pretty. And there is a car in the way. Damn it. Get that car out the way. I'm gonna be moving this little beauty out. It's a SR20 S13. Sounds super healthy, runs really good. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this out, or at least get it out of the way so I can bring mine in there because this is already done. Get on with it. I'm gonna be showing you guys how I'm gonna do the tubs on this. I've looked at a bunch of videos. They're a lot of help. I just kind of feel like it's really hard to see how they do it because they're not so detailed. So I'm gonna try to do the best I can. If I don't, then I'm just like one of them as well too. And I'm working with something that has, as you can tell through here, it looks like it has a little bit of frame damage. You can see all of that right there. It doesn't look very pretty. So I'm working with this pretty shitty built 1JZ S13 that I just bought like not even a month ago. So finally gonna get into it. I'm gonna be doing engine bay tubs, show you guys how that goes. So from what I'm seeing, I already disconnected all this bullshit wiring, which what I'm debating, because it already started getting wet. It rained today, so I want to see if I can figure something out so that way when I do the tubs, I'm gonna try to make them like here to here, and then I'm gonna try to make like a box cover right here so that way I can cover up all the wiring, all the stuff that I don't need, and then my intercooler piping basically mounts up somewhere like this underneath this rail here. So I'm pretty sure I'm having enough space to do something. If not, I'll notch it to whatever I need, but I'm gonna try to find a way to basically cover all this up, cover all this up, and cover all this up so that way nothing gets in there. And I have enough space here, and I can kind of have like some type of like lid to open it up and work on the fuses if I have to. But I'm gonna try to make it convenient, usable, and see what we can do. So I'm gonna get into the cutting. So basically from what I've seen, you're not supposed to cut too far. You can if you want to, depending on what you're gonna do. But for the most part, as of what I see from here, just by even just throwing it over just like that, I don't really need to cut everything like crazy or all in all. Realistically, I don't have to cut at all, but that's just if you're gonna go with big angles, so it's recommended. I might just cut short around here and just cut this section, this triangle section in here, so that way I get a little more room, and whatever's down here, I'll just bash up and get it out the way. But realistically, I'm not gonna go too crazy angle. I'm gonna try to make this into like a somewhat street track car, because I have the full track car for that reason, which that has completely cut out tubs. Let me show you. So this is a track car, has a 5.0 covered up right now, but they completely just nothing, no front end. Did a tooth front. So you do your own thing, do your own way, make it better than that. But we're gonna do tubs so that way it looks fucking sick, bro. So again, like I said, I'm probably just gonna cut this section here, whatever just looks kind of the ugliest, and then debating how I'm gonna take this off, cut this out, or whatever it takes to take it off. Realistically, at that point, I might have to just cut this whole section. So I might actually have to cut this whole thing. Not entirely sure. I will figure that out right now. But first, I'm gonna cut this in half and do a mock-up of what more I need to cut and go from there. no crazy measuring or any of that, because realistically you're going to be cutting and cutting as you go by. So I'm just going to cut it into half to wherever I think half is, which is obviously not that. It looks pretty fucking crooked. So I'm going to go off of base off of this line instead and cut that shit out. See the reason for cutting it, and like I said, you're gonna cut a lot more. Obviously, you can see that this is way too much. Not enough space here, so obviously we'd have to notch. I mean, we could do that, but it's not really necessary. My idea would be more. Okay. Yes, I am. Huh? Yes. So yes, my idea is more like keeping it somewhere like that. So that way we have this section here, we have space for intercooler and a box plating to put all this nasty ass wiring right there. So after 2 different cuts, like I said, I don't measure shit, so it never comes out the way I do it. You can kind of see where there's a little more space now. If I were to do something, I can basically hide all this. If I cut all this bullshit out here and make like a little space, but you can hide all the bullshit wiring there. And then keep in mind, I still got to notch a little bit to fit the turnaround right there. But there's basically the first side of how that's going. And then basically just gonna make a shield that goes like that to cover that part up. All right, so quick thing, cardboard is gonna be your best friend, and it's gonna take a little bit of keep finding the proper points where you're gonna wanna cut and everything. So this is my template that I made of basically this section right here. You can see that. And I'll cut it out to this, some random sheet metal. As you can see, it's gonna start going into place. I should have done the cut right here where I should have, but that's the only issue. I'm gonna smoothen all that out, and most likely it's gonna be covered because it's gonna have something basically, if it stays, but just like that. So just one little issue I'm running into where my old battery holder thingy is in the way, so I'm gonna start hammering this down and this down, so that way I have a smoother spot to play with, tack the corners, and have that started. So this, I ended up smoothing it out right here and cutting it just a little more in each corner. So now it seems to fit a little better in those areas. Keep in mind, I'm gonna just tack the corners and seal the rest of it up with like some silicone and everything, so that way no water comes in or out. So that's the base plate. Like I said, I'm gonna be cutting it on here, so that's I still made this section here. So this sitting down where it's at, I'm gonna lay the top portion on basically, and kind of see where we end up with that. We might need to trim more up here. We'll get to that right now. So another section, like I said, that piece right there is what I used to cut this side piece, and you kind of start seeing where it starts coming out to. So on this corner right here, I might have to trim this down just a little bit more and make this a little smoother, so that way there's not just a random cut out through there, in case if I'm working out here, I'm not gonna fucking cut my hand off. You know? So that's starting to look like it. Getting it to be one piece. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do here. Might make another, you know, like V shape, cover this whole section up, so that way nothing gets into here. It'll be covered up right here. Make it a little cleaner, so that way I have a chance to maybe just cut this section out as well too. Get more stuff out of the way. So as you can see right here, my integral piping still fits right there. So I'm able to make something out of like, maybe use this one right here. I don't know if it's really good or not, but basically figure out a way to get that cleaned up right there. And then yeah, just kind of cover it up through there. Make it go around the intercooler piping and make it fit. All right, so cutting the inside out, I started to tack weld everything. As you can see, there's a bunch of little shitty spot welds, but it's enough to hold it down. Once I'm doing all the other templates, know where everything goes, I'm gonna start welding everything all the way through complete, and either siliconing it or just body filling it and making it super nice and smooth, so that way it's show offable and everything. It doesn't just look like a bunch of spot welds and everything. So there's the first one basically done. See what that looks like. Super sick. Other one, work in progress. So yeah. So this is a test sample of like where the part of the intercooler is gonna go. I still gotta figure out where the intake is gonna go. If I gotta notch anything here, or see if I can figure something out to have an intake not so much in the way. Let me show you what the stock one looks like. So this is gonna go basically something right here. As we can see, there is some issues right there. So only other thing is if I could probably run a pipe somewhere more down there, or figure something out of just having this pipe all the way up to here with an intake right here. Figure something out. So I was able to figure something out. As you can see, this pipe is right here. I put a smaller intake that I had laying around. That fits in there perfectly fine. I might have to like kind of bump this in a little bit, but realistically there's enough plate to bring it more down without any issues, or higher up, wherever I want to, without it basically interfering anything. Only thing that probably interferes is where I'm gonna run the wires to hide the fuse box in there. Because I had another idea where basically put all the wires in there and have the fuse box sticking upwards like this with the cap over it, and sticking out of the piece of metal. So I'll cut out a section and bolt the fuse box right on top, basically like that, chilling. So the fender and the headlight, fake ass headlight, mocked up. It looks a lot nicer, it looks a lot cleaner. I might just trim the fender up here so that way if I gotta remove the fuse box or the cover, I can actually get to it. But for the most part, that looks really clean. I like how the fender actually covered up a lot more of that gappage on the side over there. So starting to look a lot nicer, looks a lot cleaner. I would want to remove this and probably make some metal plating just kind of blocking up right here just to make it look that much more cleaner. Probably make like a little design, or I'm planning, or I would want to run some type of like V-mount. And I think doing that, I can probably put the coolant reservoir somewhere up there, or the swirl pot, but we'll figure that out later in the future. I'm gonna keep the front mount for the time being, test out the car, make sure the car even rips like I'm expecting it to rip. So we'll see. That's basically the finish of that one. Probably make this into like a part one while I finish that one up, and all the bonding and all the making it pretty and everything will go afterwards. But for the most part, there is that. Sick. So I completely messed up. I finished both sides. I finished in this fuse box piece, but I completely forgot about the intercooler piping, and I made it super nice and pretty, and then I just had to hammer the shit out of it just to make it fit for now, because it's already 3 in the morning. I need to finish it. When I get more time again, I'm gonna cut out that section, remake it again, and make it with like the intercooler piping. Push the fuse box more that way, and just kind of clean it up and redo that piece. But that's a bummer. I don't mind leaving it, but it's just kind of the point of doing all that, you know. But yeah, there's the tubs. They look good. Very happy. Sick.